Now, to be fair, I think I should let everyone know that I had about 60 seconds warning that I would be called up. And how do you follow such stunning speakers? Well, I'm going to tell you a little story, a story of hope. As Jonna mentioned, I'm president of the Australian Jewish Association, which is a relatively new body for our community. Why was it formed? It was formed because, like many institutions in our country, there has been a drift to the left, a drift away from principles, a drift towards political correctness. And a group of us in Melbourne and Sydney decided to come together and do something about it. So we started by actually documenting a set of principles that are consistent with our values, that represent our values, one of which was free speech. We argued that Jewish academic development over the many centuries arose out of a contest of ideas, and that's how I came in touch with the IPA, an inspirational body that assisted us in a number of ways. There is a fable that if you throw a frog into a pot of hot water, it will immediately realise that it's in a hostile environment and jump out. But if you put a frog in a pot of cool water and heat it gradually, it will stay there until it dies. And in some respects, that has been our response, the response of successive Australian governments, the response of our leaders to the crimping of our freedoms in a whole variety of respects. Now, to give one other organisation just a little bit of a plug, because I know there are at least half a dozen writers for The Spectator magazine in this room, perhaps the publication from the IPA review that speaks a lot about freedom and is open-minded in promoting conservative views. Well, if you buy the next edition, I have a prediction. There might be an article in it that relates that frog fable to the subject of radical Islam and the crimping of freedoms that have occurred in this country as a consequence. Ask yourself, why is it that our uniformed service personnel, not just the military, but also ambulance, fire, etc., are now instructed that they can't wear their uniforms to and from work? That is sort of like your story of fishing. It's another set of freedoms that we are losing. So what has been the response to our association over the last 18 months? If you were to go onto Facebook, which is a way of getting your message out now when you don't have real resources, you would find that the largest Facebook page in the Jewish community in this country, as measured by what is called engagements, interactions, is now that of the Australian Jewish Association. In 18 months we've risen from nothing to number one in the country in terms of getting conservative messages out. So there is hope. That's my message of hope. There's a lot more to do. Front page of the Australian launches today Advance Australia, which takes this concept more broadly. There is a set of principles which we've worked on. There is a website, advanceaustralia.org.au. Today, over 2,000 people have signed up to the organisation, and we think that what we're seeing in these examples I've given you is a mini Trump effect, a mini Brexit effect. The people want principles articulated clearly, and they're prepared to back them. So thank you very much for the opportunity to say a few words, completely unprepared.
Thank you, David. What a wonderful way to conclude the evening.